What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. First, I gotta tell you how disappointed I am. The Golden State Warriors lost. That was heartbreaking, and it was kind of fucked up too because I was watching the basketball game and the fights, and I had to like keep flipping back and forth, so because I wanted to see the Warriors game. I watched tonight's fights. I will say all my predictions were pretty much on point. The only one that I got wrong out of four fights was Amir Khan versus Collazo, and I told you that was a 50-50 fight, so no shame in that. I'll do a breakdown. First, I want to start with the main event. Obviously, that's the biggest of all. Um, Straight up props to both fighters. I want to give Marcos Maidana, Robert Garcia, Team Garcia, all the credit in the world. I mean, they took Maidana and they've totally transformed him as a fighter. In the Amir Khan fight, he looked like he punched himself out. He looked like he was very, very susceptible to the body. He didn't have the conditioning. Um, Now he looks like a different fighter. I've seen him doing things in there that were more defensive. When Mayweather was coming on stronger, he was flicking out a jab, and he just looks like a different fighter. I will say the fight was very, very close, and I was glad it was close because it was good to see somebody really push Mayweather to the brink, drag him through hell just to see if he still has it. And I do think Mayweather won by a round or two. It was that close. I'm gonna watch the fight again. Um, I enjoyed myself thoroughly. I think it was a close fight. Mayweather shows time and time again that he's still a force. He's still a great boxer. I think he has more dog in him than a lot of people give credit because there were some shots, and I was like, damn, it looked like Mayweather could get caught. I mean, Chino was coming with this ferocity, and he was the crazy thing about Chino. And I told you, you guys were listening to Bob Arum with Top Rank saying, "Oh, it's 11-1 underdog" and all that. And I told you, Maidana is an improved fighter. Y'all kept bringing up fucking Devin Alexander. Now the same people, I said it was going to be a close fight, and I say he's an improved fighter. I told you that. I said Maidana looks a lot better. He's on a 4-win KO streak, TKO streak, um, or a 4-win streak, and three of those came by TKO or KO, and then he beat the shit out of Broner, and that was the fourth fight, and it looked like he might even TKO or KO Broner. So he's been looking good. I told you he was an improved fighter. Some of you guys are like, oh, he's flat-footed. Now all of a sudden you're trying to dick ride, and I've been telling you that Maidana was a problem in the welterweight division. The dude can crack. He has a chin. He has heart. And again, he's improving. So all the props in the world. Again, I have Mayweather winning a very close fight. The majority decision, I was okay with one person drawing it or calling it a draw. It was that type of fight. Kind of depends on what you look for. And the only reason I have Mayweather winning was because Mayweather, I think in the second half of the fight, he started to pull away, and it looked like Maidana was just operating off of heart and his punch volume, his aggressiveness. He looked a little bit sloppier and frustrated. He was still in it and he was still trying. He's still dangerous because he has that ability, that power. And I think Mayweather was just crisper in those middle rounds, middle to late rounds, where he was ripping Maidana to the body. And again, Maidana was in it the whole way. He made it very, very competitive. One of the toughest fights for Mayweather. But one thing I noticed with boxing is you get the fickle fans, you get the once or twice a year time fans. You know what I mean? Pacquiao's fighting, Mayweather's fighting. They're big events. Your people have barbecues, and you get together with friends and watch it. But you don't know shit about boxing. You don't watch the Terrence Crawfords, the Lomachenkos. You're not gonna watch Bermain Stavern and Chris Arreola, which is a hell of a fucking fight. You don't give a fuck. And again, you don't even know what you're looking at. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Mayweather lost." It was like, bottom line is this: it was a close, competitive fight, and I could tell who is really a true boxing fan just by their demeanor. Not saying if you scored it for Maidana, you're not a true boxing fan. I don't believe that. But usually, the boxing fans who aren't true boxing fans, their colors bleed through because you make it like Maidana blew through Mayweather. In fact, Maidana looked great in the first half, and he was really bringing it to Floyd Mayweather. He was throwing a lot of punches, more than we're used to seeing. He was throwing to the body. He was very aggressive. He was trying to bully Mayweather on the ropes, and he was kind of wild. I think Maidana was fighting dirty at times, but again, he's not going to beat Floyd in a technical fight. I think that's where Canelo went wrong. Canelo was trying to outbox the masterclass boxer. Maidana gave Broner and Mayweather little respect. And that's the guys you got to watch, because those are the guys that are not afraid to go out on their shield. You're going to have to really put a hurting on them in order to stop him. And he just kept coming. So, again, props to Maidana, Robert Garcia, for a great game plan. The reason I gave it to Mayweather is because those middle to late rounds where Maidana just looked pretty fatigued, and that's where he pulled away. Some of the other rounds were a toss up. But again, if you're a once or twice a year type of boxing fan and you already hate Mayweather, of course, if it's a close round, just by default, by bias, you're going to give it to him. You're just going to immediately give it. You don't care about CompuBox numbers. You probably don't score it. I have a judge scoring app on my phone. You guys probably don't do that. Some of you, you want Mayweather to lose. So you're like, oh, Maidana won because it was a close fight, just like you did with Castillo and any other fight. If he was in a close fight, I even heard people say Miguel Cotto won because it was a close, or it was a competitive fight, so they say Cotto won. So at the end of the day, I think Mayweather did win, but by far he didn't look spectacular. He didn't look like the dominant Mayweather. He looked almost distracted, or just not his usual self. And again, I don't have no problem admitting any of this. He didn't look dominant. It was a close, competitive fight, and I think Chino's stocks went way up because he had a hell of a performance. And he made Maidana, the 37-year-old, work harder. And he showed kind of the age difference because Chino had this incredible work rate. So Alex Ariza definitely worked with Chino as far as stamina and conditioning, because it's a lot better than the days when he was fighting Amir Khan. What's next? I'll probably do a separate video. I would definitely like to see a rematch, Chino and Mayweather. I think the fans would support it. A lot of you guys think Maidana won. Some people think Mayweather won. So anytime you have that, it's just kind of like the Castillo fight, set the record straight, just like Timothy Bradley and Manny Pacquiao did. But hell of a fight. And I told you guys it was going to be it. It's just funny to see a lot of these people dick ride. I told you guys personally that I'm a Maidana fan, and he's dangerous, he's lethal. Some of you are like, oh, it's slow-ass Maidana, and gave him no shot. And it looked like he had a hell of a shot, especially in the early rounds. He was kind of making it uncomfortable, and he was dying to land that fucking chopping, like overhand punch that he's like kind of perfected. And he actually landed some of them. He was just so willing to throw, he didn't care. So if there's no Mayweather-Maidana rematch, I think that's a great fight. I would love to see him fight Sean Porter, the Keith Thurmans, some of the other young guns, because all those dudes got power. And actually, Sean Porter and Maidana fight kind of similar in the sense of they just care about throwing. They have power. They don't really care about finesse and looking beautiful as they gracefully throw a punch. They're just throwing with bad intentions, everything, and they're trying to punish you. So I think those are all great fights. Again, props to everybody. Hell of a fight. I enjoyed myself. I'll talk about the undercards on another video. Maidana, he really, again, pushed Mayweather to the brink and made him fight an uncomfortable fight. So I think his stocks went up. Let me know what you guys think. Intelligently explain why you feel Maidana won or Mayweather won. And leave a comment. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.